Hey yo, what is going on guys? Cash and Clean here. So for today's video, we are on the PTS. So if you guys didn't know, if you do want to join the PTS, just do /export account on your main account. So it'll look something like this. And this is for PC only, unfortunately not available for console, the PTS stuff that is. So /export account, click on yes, and then wait about 5 minutes to join. If it doesn't work, try again 5 minutes later. If that doesn't work, then try exporting your account again and just go through the same process. Eventually you should be able to make it in. So now let's go over what they actually added. So if we go over here to the Dragon Crucible, this is going to be very helpful for new players, by the way. Now there's a couple things I want to say about it, but I'll just talk about it real quick. So we go over here to this draconic browser and we scroll to the bottom and we have this thing called the draconic pathfinder. So 20,000 flux, not too bad. I don't know if they're going to change the value of that, but I think 20,000 is fine. Maybe a little bit less, but I guess 20k is fine. And as for the item, we just hover over it. You can place it in a cornerstone or a club world. And you can see from the description there as well, you can interact with it to learn about dragons and how to find them. So that's why it's going to be super good for new players and even returning players or even endgame players if you don't know how to get a specific dragon. So for the time being, we're just going to throw it into my cornerstone. I guess I'll wait till it loads. Right there. I don't really have a designated spot. I'll just throw it there for now. So we got a little book. So this is pretty much it. We got a little bats dragon guy. I don't know, maybe they should have a different dragon guy, but they have like a little beam, it looks like. That is actually pretty cool. Okay, that's pretty nice. Some VFX there. But anyway, go over here to the path painter here. Or why did I say path painter? Pathfinder, and looks like every dragon is shown. So that is also insane. And I'm looking over at the notes for the patch notes, which by the way, I'll leave a link for that in the description if you just want to read ahead and you don't want to bother with the video, or if you want to just look at it with me. It says that there's a list for all the dragons in the game, but currently the only ones are fledgling, adult, and ancestral that have complete data. The legendaries and the primordials will be added soon. So as of right now, the primordial, for example, doesn't really have much info on it, but let's just go to some random one. Let's go to this guy over here. So this one is from the Skyrim, I'm pretty sure. The pink clouds, or not the pink clouds, the pink ore, and then you get the fragments for this dragon. So it gives you the stats, which is pretty cool. It says that you can effigy it, so that's also a handy thing to know. So if you can actually effigy the dragon or not, and it's in the shop. Wait, it doesn't tell you how to get it though. Wait, they just forgot the most important part. Okay, I just went back and looks like this is one of these soul dragons, so 100 bone dragon souls, so you can get that from the Dragon Crucible. They should mention that it's from the Dragon Crucible, because how are people supposed to know where that specific thing is from? So little small detail there. I would highly recommend if they can add that. And then this part over here is not correct. Maybe back in the day it was correct, but we don't have any bone dragon caches, at least not that I know of, unless they add those now. But they should reword the text just a little bit, just so it's not confusing for newer players, because a new player is going to look up how to do this and they're just not going to know, and they may as well just not even have this entire thing if that's the case, because then it'll just be like some random thing and we just won't know what to do with it. It says that we can craft it here. Collectible can be obtained indirectly by crafting. They should really show, and I guess it shows, but I don't know, some people might not understand the picture, the newer players. Like, I can see that that's the Dragon Crucible area, because the Dragon Crucible is right there by Bomber, but a new player might not know that. So just a little couple nitpicky things, I guess. It is cool that it tells you the progression though. So 100% collected, so that's amazing. I wonder if it does that with the fragments. Okay, so let's go over to the Void Dragon over here. I believe this is the one that you would get from the shadow caches, the Void Dragon fragments, then you craft this dragon. Pretty sure. So collected by, wait, what? Collected by crafting. Wait, it just doesn't tell you. Elder Dragon, unlocked when 10 friends you have referred reach Trove Mastery 20. Okay, I guess that one's a straight up easy example, but I don't think many people are gonna know how to refer friends to this game. Like, you can obviously make the recommendation, but they should know that there should be a code, or there should be a link with it. Yeah, okay, yeah, there we go. Refer a friend code. But yeah, I guess not everyone's gonna know how to find that and stuff, so that's gonna be another issue. Moonwing Dragon, yeah, I guess the souls and stuff like that. So far, I'd say it's decent. I like the UI, actually. Well, kinda. I don't like this outside border. I like this inside stuff. Like, this is good, this is good. This blue stuff over here is fine. We've had that in the game for a while. This outside border, though, I'm not too much of a fan of. And it's cool that you can search the dragons here, too. So, Starlights, yeah, there we go. Fletchling and the actual dragon. So it's cool that it has the fletchling as well. And you can also do hide collected, so if you're trying to see if there's a dragon that you're missing. So, I don't know. Overall, the entire design of this, the idea of it is amazing. They just gotta finish up the nitpicky details and it'll be perfect. And hopefully they're able to keep all of the dragons actually on here, and then with the explanation of how to actually get them. So the next thing on our list is Granny. So not Cranny, but Granny. So Cranny's Granny over here. Not super creative with the name, but you know, it's decent. I also kind of like how they just have it here at the hub straight up. Like they just want you to spend the credits. Because before they had this guy hidden away, tucked away by Luxian. Now they're just out here randomly. I hope that's not the case. Because this right here will be a noob trap, a beginner's trap. They'll look at this and be like, hey, do I need this stuff? And they might just straight up buy it. Anyway, I'm just going to go through. So this is the granny stuff, it looks like. So there's multiple items, which is good. I'm assuming that it's going to be multiple stuff constantly rotating. That's the hope, at least. With the unlock thing and then the other sets of costumes with each thing. But it seems like it's maybe just completely random. And then this is just the regular curiosity cat. And one thing I wanted to add with this granny stuff is that they're adding a new item, which is going to be an effigy that allows you to unlock one random item from Cranny that you're missing. So I guess I don't know if they're going to end up keeping all this stuff too, which I guess they could, but it'd be nice if they had actual sets of whatever it is. So kind of like how Cranny is right now. So we have all of this. This will rotate for another thing and then it'll unlock something over here. So if they can do that with Granny, then that'll be really good. Because if you just have random stuff, you're just going to be missing some random obscure item randomly. And it'll just be this thing that you have to just wait for, which is pretty annoying. Like this already helps a ton. But it'd be super helpful if they just had it in sets. But the other thing I wanted to mention on top of what we have here is that there will be an effigy for this stuff. Now, I don't know how much credits or qubits it'll cost. It's probably gonna be credits, but just like a dragon effigy, it'll unlock some random costume, a random mount, a random ally, whatever you were missing. It'll unlock it randomly. That is if you have the effigy. I don't have any on me to test it for you guys, but even if I did, I have everything here, so I can't really do that test. But overall, I think this is a W. Apart from the small changes, I would highly recommend that they end up fixing, and then also having these guys just not over here. If we're gonna have stuff in this general hub area, this middle, they should have actual tutorials in the middle here. So guides over here, and then just all around. Not just straight up pay to win things, like next to where we spawn. If anything, that's probably gonna drive people away, but I don't know. Either way, so far, that is what we got for all of that. I'm not sure if they're gonna end up adding more stuff to all this. We'll have to wait and see, but as of right now, that's what we got. And for the final thing, there are balance changes. Now, with the balance changes, I'm a little bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. Do you guys remember that survey that you guys ended up doing and I ended up doing? Yeah, well, I guess I'll just put up a screenshot over here, but it seems like they didn't really read it. They didn't really go over it. I mean, maybe I'm just misunderstanding the whole thing. Maybe they did look over it and maybe they took in the feedback that you guys gave. But it seemed like maybe they just went their own direction with all this. And for the most part, it does seem like they did go with their own direction, but not every class. Because starting with the first class, Neon Ninja, you can actually front flip with this guy now. So if you guys didn't know you would backflip with them to gain your movement speed, now you can just straight up front flip. And that's going to be your main way to actually go forward. So just front flip and you'll be gaining that movement. You can just spam it. And then you can use the Zealous emblem and you can just kind of spam it, go forward and get all that movement speed. And that was me with not even max movement speed. And as you can see, I'm going pretty fast if you look at my speedometer down here. Now, a couple things that I want to mention with all this is that firstly, by default, if I'm not pressing anything, it'll front flip default for you, which I don't know about you guys, but I kind of miss the whole backflipping feature, and you can't really do that anymore because it just stops you in place when you backflip. So there's no longer a point in backflipping as Neon Ninja. You're pretty much just going to be front flipping for the most part. And I guess the backflip is going to be helpful if you're trying to stay stationary and fight an enemy. So I guess there's that. But I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on that one specifically. I do like the front flip. I just don't like that we don't have the same movement speed going backwards. Not that we really do need to go backwards. Like, I understand why they did it. If we're fighting an enemy, it's gonna be weird trying to go backwards and then you just throw your shuriken. It's just the momentum and everything just feels kind of weird. And on top of that, if you lag, then it's gonna be omega weird. So I don't know. Overall with that, I'm like 50-50. It's like I partly like it, partly don't like it. So that's Neon Ninja. And then on top of that, the shuriken damage. So this shuriken over here, that's gonna do 20% more damage. So that's good, but it's not really the buff that we need. I mean, it is a buff. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pretty good, but it's not good enough. It'd be nice if Neon Ninja had a better basic attack damage, so if that got increased. And then as far as the shuriken goes, I don't know, maybe if they did splash damage or like extra damage when it landed on the ground, or I don't know, something. Just more damage. That's what we need. With these classes, all these classes, they're all designed to do DPS. So if that's the case, then everyone should have some form of movement speed and some form of damage. But if they're not going to do that, then it just doesn't make any sense. Everyone's just going to stick to Boom Ranger, Solarion, and Shadow Hunter because that is the meta and that is what works. Until you can get to the point where you one-shot stuff or close to it, then you can kind of pick and choose. but it's still going to come down to the same thing of where you need speed, and obviously the damage is just there. Sorry, I went on a little rant there, but I don't mean to take away from the current stuff. So Fate Trickster, that is going to be the next class. So not a whole lot changed with Fate Trickster. So if you guys don't know, the passive ability for Fate Trickster is if I don't take damage for 4 seconds, I gain increased damage, or I guess it's considered bonus damage. And with a game like Trove, you're most likely going to get damaged pretty often, like no matter what you're doing, just even randomly. So what they did is they made it so the ultimate makes it so you're immune for 5 seconds. But the way they worded it is kind of weird. I don't know if these are immune or if we are immune. But regardless, this isn't really the buff that Fate Trickster needed, so that one is a little bit disappointing. In my opinion, it'd be good if they just had this as more damage, maybe change the passive completely because it's just terrible. Like, why do we need to avoid taking damage as Fate Trickster? And then the Glitter Bomb, if that did more damage too, then that would be super helpful. And then this can stay, I guess. I mean, I guess it's not bad. But I feel like Faye is pretty close to being OP, it would just need more damage. That's pretty much it. Because the ult is pretty unique, but I mean, I guess the ult would be better for like single target bosses. So maybe in like delves and things like that. I don't know. Next up, we got the Vanguard. Now for Vanguard, for those of you Vanguard mains, I hate to say this, but you guys are not going to like this. So I believe just the ultimate got reduced by 5 seconds, which in my opinion doesn't really make any sense. If you're playing Vanguard, I can't ever imagine a situation where you're fighting something and you very quickly have to switch from range to attack. Or sorry, not attack, from range to melee. Like, you could make the argument where if you're farming delves, you'd maybe want to punch, and then at the boss, you'd want to maybe go ranged, I guess. But by the time you do all of that, you're going to get your cooldowns up, so it doesn't really matter. So this change was completely useless. They may as well have not even touched Vanguard. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they made that decision. So Vanguard, nothing happened. I really hope they end up reconsidering some of these classes and actually add buffs and not just these random things. And speaking of buffs, dude, I don't understand this Tomb Raiser one. It just really makes you wonder what's going on. So Tomb Raiser's minion health has been increased by 80%. I'll let that sink in for a little bit. 80%. So these things have increased health. Why? I have no idea. I don't know why they're obsessed with these things gaining more HP, because the last time Tomb Raiser got buffed, they buffed it by 20%. So I guess with Tomb Raiser, the minions having more HP, I mean, what, are they just going to survive more in the fight? You can already spam your abilities, so it doesn't really make any sense. Like, they can already do the fight for you. And with Tomb Raiser, you're not really using this character for like actual DPS. I mean, you can, but it's not really recommended. So if you're farming with this character, so mainly, I would only use this character in delves if I can one shot. So what you would do is just spam all your minions and then just keep on rushing through the delve. Your minions will fight the enemies and you'll just be rushing towards the boss room, and that's pretty much it. Having the health increased does not really change anything. So I'm not sure what that change is all about, but I guess that's Tomb Raiser. And last but not least, we got the Revenant. So with the Revenant, there wasn't really that much that happened. So I guess the ultimate has been increased by 20%, like the area of effect. So if we use it, it is, I don't know if it's actually applied right now. I think this might be the same amount, so I don't know if it actually went through to the PTS just yet, but that change will be happening at some point. So just know that that ultimate will be having a 20% increase in size. And I guess I can't really see a situation where that's gonna help. I mean, I guess it'll help a little bit, but I mean, I can't really see it helping like a huge amount. Maybe if you're farming D15 and the enemies are pretty far, but the range is already pretty decent for Rev's ult. I would say maybe Candy Barb should get that one when he's pulling in the enemies. But yeah, I don't know. So far, I'm kind of 50-50 on all this, which, I mean, it's nice that these characters are getting buffs and stuff, but it would be nice to see more characters getting all that and just more meaningful ones, that is. Something that'll actually drastically, maybe not drastically, but something that'll actually make a difference for these characters to make them a little bit more viable. So that way newer players can play them and then they can be like, hey, which class can I use? Which class is good? And then we can just tell them you can play any class, because they are all viable. But now we're pretty much in the same boat where I have to recommend the usual meta classes. And then obviously I do say that they can play whatever they want. People can choose and play whatever class that they feel like they want to play, but my recommendation will always still be Shadowhunter, Boomeranger, and Solarion until that ends up changing. And then for magic damage characters, probably Ice Age. So before I end the video, there is one final thing. One more little bit of news that I have for you guys is that there will be a Knight rework. So they are completely reworking this guy from what it looks like. As for what it is, I have no idea, but I just know that it is happening. That is why it wasn't included in these patch notes, because they said it would be a little bit more complicated. I don't know what their exact wording was, but they're pretty much doing more work tonight, so that's why it's going to take a little bit longer. So be on the lookout for that. Once it does happen, I'll let you guys know, and I'll go more into depth with everything that's been going on with the PTS. I mean, there isn't a whole lot, but I'll make a few videos here and there. And if they add stuff, then I'll be sure to let you guys know as well. So if there's something I missed, or if there's something you guys want to see, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to let you guys know. And on that note, thank you all so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. And I'll talk to you guys later.